Fancy managers, hello and welcome to the FPL Addicts podcast, Game Week 27 preview, sponsored by Bonus Bank and powered by Esports Live. If you're new around here on the show today, whether you're listening at home or watching live on YouTube, Twitch, whatever platform it may be, please do give us a like, drop us a subscribe, jump in the comments if you're watching live, and please join in the conversation. Let's say hello to our guests today. We're on the panel. We have a couple of the usual handsome gentlemen with us. Christopher Reed, live from the UK. And we've got Chaz Roberts, live from Melbourne. And we're also joined by a special guest and a great friend of the show, FPL SideNet, Peterson, based in the beautiful peninsula here in Melbourne. We're very excited to get going today. Reedy, I'll start with you, mate. Snowing in the UK. How's things there, mate? Wrapped up?
Yeah, a bit chilly this morning, Jack. Had quite a lot of snow last night, quite heavy and whatnot. So it was a wellies job this morning for the school run, mate. And knee deep. But yeah, all good. Sun's out now. Seems to be cracking the flags, and I think we don't need to worry about any postponements come this game week, boys. Don't worry about that. We'll sort you out. But yeah, going well.
I'd love to get. This is why we've got a UK correspondent on the pod to give us the latest, amazing, detailed information. Knee deep in the snow, and it put all games are playing on from then on. A couple of quick hellos who've just joined us online. Mark Halpin, good day, mate. Hope you're all well. FPL Planner, live from Canberra in Australia. Colin Bulger on every single week. Great lad, and we hope you're doing well. And Mira is on the show as well. We will be dropping her name very shortly because she's doing very well in the leagues. So thank you for joining us, guys. And Chazza, how are you? The mullet is back. What's going on, mate?
Yeah, in other workplaces, it's all tied back. Going really well, thank you. Looking forward to game week 27. The double of Brentford and Brighton. Out of all clubs, it's those two. Brighton do need to play their catch-up games. Huge week, especially on the captaincy front, which we will get to later. It's between the Matoma up against a four-leg multi, the man himself in Ivan Toney, with his initials of I bet. A lot to plan out.
Love it, mate, and it is so good to have you on. I know you and Ollie carried it last week. You and Ollie last week, wasn't it?
Last week?
No, the week before. Game week 26. Game week 26. The boys run Chatbox podcast on Thursday night. Scout the game week. Did a cracking job on there. Reedy, Ollie and Chazza. Great listen. And obviously a hello to Chatbox there. And thanks for having the boys out on loan to you guys for the week. And SideNet, obviously we caught up at social. I hope you're doing well. How's everything been for you, mate?
Yeah, good. I just want to say, long time listener, first time caller. Great to get I feel like I've got my debut. Got my senior cap, making it up to the seniors. So very happy to be joining you, legends. So I mean, I listen every week. If I'm not tuning in live, I'm always listening back on while I'm outside doing something. And you guys, geez, you make me laugh. And yeah, just great content every week. So actual honor to be joining you all live.
Oh, how good's that? Do you know something? Obviously, because we've met up a few times, we had a good laugh together, and everyone gets on so well with you. I feel like I can't believe this is your actual first time. Are you sure? Are you sure it's your first time?
Oh, we did a World Cup one, so I sort of feel like that was like a friendly. This is a proper cap. Yeah.
No, you're right. That was your trial, and listen, you smashed it. Even though we didn't do another World Cup one following that, it was it was the blooper one, right? But listen, obviously, great to have you on. Welcome, and thank you so much for all your support over the last couple of years as well. It is always good to have at least 3 listens per week, so thank you so much for that. And obviously, a lot of nonsense on the podcast, as you know, but everyone is more than welcome on here anytime. But yeah, guys, obviously, thank you for jumping in the comments already. Chris, thanks for jumping on here. Good morning, all. He's having a bad week. Contracted sell. Don't know what that means, if I'm honest. I don't know if am I reading that right?
Is we're going to make his bad week turn into an amazing one because we are here.
Here we go.
Night Lights.
Cellulitis, kidney stones, and wildcard 26. Right, he's got the hat trick. Oh, he's done well there.
Wow. What a way to announce yourself in the comments.
Get well soon, Chris. We're here to cheer you up, provide no advice, but definitely guide you through, especially because Chris reads it on the pod. So let's get into this. Let's have a look at some of these results. This is where Reedy can take the dance floor, have his moment, because it was all about Liverpool United, of course. Let's just scroll down. We'll start from the bottom and work our way through. Reedy, go on, mate. Just do your worst.
I don't know. The screen does the talking for me in a way, doesn't it? And I think if most people who didn't see the game watch the highlights, you'll see how that second half unfolded. What I will say is that United were completely in the game first half. It was even. There was chances for Rashford and so on, and that 1-0 at half time really helped us. So yeah, but absolute demolition job second half. It was just crazy. You just thinking at 4-0, then it stops to go to 5, 6, then 7. Oh, it was, I had the biggest smile on my face going in. Not going in, but on the Monday morning, I was kind of like, there's nothing that could happen today that would stop me from, being in a good mood. So it was unbelievable. I was in the pub actually with some of the Team North lads from game week 39 after the trials game.
Tell us a bit about that, Reedy, while you're on the subject. Give me a shout out.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really plugged it or kind of talked about it much in terms of what the game week 39 is about, but it's a charity for Street Child United. The reason that basically loads of managers from the FPL community all get involved, contribute, and obviously there's a match as well that kind of happens. It happened last year in Birmingham, where basically North played the South, and great game. The South came out winners on that occasion. I think it was 2-1, I think, and they've got it again this year. So I had the trials going. I went to Leeds and I went to Liverpool, as I say, Sunday. Great bunch of lads. Loads of sort of well-known names on Twitter from the FPL community. Benny Blanco, Hindu Monkey, to name a few. Gianni Battici, there's loads on there. But
famous FPL content creators there and managers.
Well, in the South, you've got Harry, you've got Raptor, there's ours as well from Black Box. So there's a whole host of people who do it and get involved. But, in terms of the trials on Sunday against Team North, really competitive game, good group of lads.
How did you get on, Reedy?
Well, I scored the goal to make it 2-0, to be fair.
Go on, lad.
Yeah, I managed to get a goal, and we were winning 2-0. And, we were really, really playing quite well, to be honest. Unfortunately, we let them get back into it, 2-2, and they got a goal in the 80th minute off a corner. But great game, as I say. Did you go down with anyone else? Rev went, so obviously Mikey was there. Pulled his hammy, classic Everton style, got an injury.
Calvin Lewin.
Yeah, did a Calvin Lewin. But great effort as well from him. He went to Leeds as well, and unfortunately didn't make the team for the game week 39. But I played well in both games. I got myself a goal, so I've put myself in a good position to potentially be picked. But the 5 lads that have got in, great lads, good players. So it's fair play to them. But yeah, like I say, we all were in the pub afterwards, watched that game. There was a mixture of fans in there, United, Liverpool, Leeds. There was all sorts of different fans in there.
Disaster, of course.
But obviously I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it loads. But great game to watch with loads of people and stuff like that. So I'll leave it at that. I mean, Jack knows anyway. I gave him all the banter and the stick, on the day and the day after or whatever. So that's it. We'll let it rest now, I think.
Yeah, well, I think got battered on the WhatsApp group with plenty of messages on there. Just a saving grace that you had a terrible, terrible wild card week, thank God, which is all I had to come back with. But but well deserved in that second half. United just came up. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Chaz, have you got a game for us that you want to discuss?
No, well, not review? Quite. That wasn't my question straight away a bit. I will get to it shortly, but got a question for you, Chris. How do you reckon the mullet would have fared on Sunday for the Game Week 39 trials?
Oh, depends, mate. I mean, I don't really know.
Has he watched you at social?
I don't know, mate. I probably would have stuck your left back probably in the changing rooms, to be fair. You know? But no, listen, Chaz, I give you a good run out, 20 minutes, do a job, bosh. You know, there you go, mate.
Good.
Get a couple of tackles in there.
Yeah, that's correct. Speaking of games, I do actually want to speak of one, and this is where the jackpot of the Brighton midfielders. Some would say I could go to the Arsenal game, but I don't. Let's go Brighton versus West Ham, because this is huge. Heading into double game week 27, the one of many catch-up games Brighton has to play. And what a game week it was, especially for 4% owned in Alexis McAllister. Matoma got on the score sheet with a goal and assist. But if you backed in March, during the month of March, he didn't live up to his billing nor ceiling. So that's what happened. And they ran right over West Ham.
Certainly did, Chazza. And those who've jumped on the Matoma train, people like myself, have benefited massively since then. I think, like West Ham, like obviously struggling in there. On the other side of London, well, on the other side, but Chelsea, Peterson, big Chelsea fan, of course. Is this the start of things now, or what we're thinking?
I think it's time to start crowdfunding that Graham Potter statue out front of Stamford Bridge. The glory days are back. 2 wins in a week. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, and you battered Borussia Dortmund as well, huh?
Yeah, I think now he's toned down on the sunbeds or the faint tan sign. You know, I think he's looking like his former self, like he was at Brighton, and he's finally sussed out. Oh, okay, Chilwell and Reece James are wing backs. I'll play 3-4-3 then. You know, and that could change things for you. Just that alone, really, that system, I suppose, couldn't it?
Yeah, who would have thought playing your best players in their best position could lead to, you know, some wins? So, yeah, great. This was actually a fun game because my podcast co-host, Andrew, is a Leeds fan. So we had our podcast, El Clasico, this weekend, which was nice. Nice to get the win there. But, yeah, I was very nervous heading into injury time of this game because I don't know if you lads saw the end of the game, but Leeds got a very late corner kick and Meslier went up for the corner kick and actually connected on it. And at that moment, time stood still for me. As soon as he headed the ball, I was just expecting it to hit the back of the net. And it took me a good 20 minutes after that game to actually just my heart rate to come back down and just relax. I was so nervous.
Would you say the 1-0 win was deserved? Or I think Leeds had a few chances other than that corner, right? There
was a few chances, but Chelsea definitely deserved the win. They really went out there and, then proved it again during the week against Dortmund. But I think the big story was Arsenal getting that win over Bournemouth. That was just absolutely bonkers.
Going 2-0 down there, Bournemouth. What was the goal? Was it 90 seconds, the goal, Billing?
9.6 seconds, I think.
9 point, blimey. Insane stuff, going 2-0 up, but then Arsenal showing what they are capable of and having that resilience, which is quite impressive. Obviously not going 2-0 down, of course, but coming back in that Reece Nelson goal. Wow. Yeah. What a rocket that was. Chazza, I'm sure I saw one at social of yours do that.
Yeah, that must have been Peterson out of all names into ultra football folklore, but incredible limbs as Nelson scored that goal. That's probably the best I've ever seen from the stadium. And it would eclipse Welbeck's winner against Leicester from the 15-16 season. But more importantly, Ben White scoring his first goal for a club turned into the biggest FPL trial heading into the game week for all of the blanks in the past, but he's all been forgiven now. I think he came off a bench.
He came off the bench, and Tomiyasu came off at half-time, Tomiyasu off half-time, Ben White on.
I just want to add on, I think it was brilliant substitution work for Mikel Arteta as well, because you had Smith Rowe came on, got an assist, Reece Nelson too, who got the match-winning goal, but also the assist as well.
Yeah, but Smith Rowe came off as well. He brought him on and then took him off. Insane. And great bit of management. I always remember Luke Chadwick from Man United getting subbed off during the game. He came on to sub him off. Fergie, brutal. But yeah, there you go. So a bit of a review about a couple of the games there. Obviously, some good displays and some good wins by players. Good to see the assets. Of course, Liverpool players coming back into the fold in FPL. Chaz, you got one more thing to add onto this one?
One more thing to add, just
That's
to
all right.
end the game week. And this is brilliant. This is absolute strawberry jammy stuff content from the season. Monday night, West London derby, Brentford versus Fulham. The mighty Ethan Pinnock picked up with a goal, but also Ivan Toney yet again from a penalty spot, making it 22 from 22. And what a brilliant technique he has.
What a technique he has. Yeah, wow.
And don't talk about Andreas. That's all right.
No worries. We will mention during the when we get into team reviews shortly. King Solomon is doing bits for Fulham. Really enjoying him. 5 in 5, 4 in the league, 1 in the League Cup or FA Cup, one or the other. But yeah, really incredible form by him. And obviously, there's one FPL manager who has picked him in his team and benefited from that one. Anyway, let's check out what is going on in our leagues. So let me bring up the next slide on here. So let's have a look in our podcast mini league. So this is where we review the panelists, the general panelists in here, podcast league. Here we go. So in last place, Chaz Roberts, 46 points this week. So what's happened? Talk to us. You're on mute, of course. And you're still on mute. He's just not listening.
Jeez, I forgot I was part of a conversation for a minute.
Chaz, take us through your team, mate.
What a stuff up on Friday. Ben White, brilliant goal. Kepa with a clean sheet. That's his first appearance into the side for the season. Loved it. Look, midfield, don't want to talk about it. Ivan Toney just carries on banging. And yeah, he got an assist and yellow card, the Norwegian. It seems the captaincy appeal for him has dried off in recent times. But that's all for my team.
Short and sweet, Chazza. How many points did you get, mate? 46, was it?
Look, 46, somehow green arrow. Somehow.
Yeah, and you're nestled nicely in the, 4 millions. No, you're not. A game week rank. So you're 1.9 mil. I thought you were doing quite well the previous week. But this was your wild card, wasn't it? It was your wild card as well, right?
Was my wild card, yeah.
Okay. What would you have done differently, do you think? Or wouldn't you?
Probably would have waited another week.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So you're on 1,508 points, Chazza. Just slightly in front of you and also played his wild card last week. 32-point haul this week. Took his, I don't know, he was giving me, always gives me a bit each week about my moves. And then he's just nailed it this week with 32 points on his wild card. So, Reedy, do you want to go through this one, mate?
Yeah. I just want to say as well, Chazza, with some extra jam there, mate, Ethan Pinnock scoring a deflected goal and Ben White coming on and scoring. I mean, you can't get much more jammier than that, let's be honest. But yeah, we take it and we move. But yeah, 32 for me. Wild card played, as you said, Jack. Raya, getting stung there on the Monday night. Conceded an extra goal when Brentford went asleep right near the end of the game. Otherwise, he would have got one more point, but it wouldn't have made a difference to my absolutely shocking score. Estupinan doing what he does best in the last few weeks, 6, 8, 7, 6, 9. I mean, he's a no-brainer for a pick. Ben Mee, same as Raya. And as we saw the Bournemouth game, how that unfolded, so Zinni didn't even get a sniff, really. No attacking return, and Saka really probably the most popular captain, blanking as well, who'd have thought. Harvey Barnes was the pick for me, bit of a differential. All he's ever really going to give you is blue balls, let's be honest. And he goes off injured on the 43rd minute after getting a yellow, I think, potentially as well. So absolute disaster there on that one. And not many points to shout about, really. Tony was probably saving grace, but a few people had him already, so he got his 8 points. Matoma sitting pretty with 13 points on my bench there. So, not a great week, and I'm quite happy to forget about that, move swiftly on to 27.
Pretty bittersweet week for you, Reedy. In the real world in EPL with the win, 7-0, flying, and then in FPL in the world we absolutely hate sometimes. You've been murdered there, haven't you? So elsewhere, let's have a look who we've got. Mikey, the Reverend himself. Obviously, he's out with a hamstring. That's your injury news for him. He's out with a hamstring injury at the minute, but his team does carry on, and 64 points he hauled this week. So top work, Mikey. He's gone to 820k in the world, so he's been up in the millions for a while. So good work from Mikey climbing the ladder. A couple of picks in there. He's got his Liverpool players. He had Salah and Trent and Captain Tony. He was the only one to Captain Tony in our league as well. So great shout in there. Elliot Craig, he's on a bit of a holiday at the moment from FPL, doing a lot of shifts in the restaurant. But he got 32 points with the same as Reedy as well. He played his wild card, very similar. I no doubt he's got a couple of similar players as well. He's got obviously the Brentford at back as well. Pretty similar to yours, Reedy. He put Maddison instead of Barnes, with Tomer on the bench, Stupinian on the bench too. So he did leave 19 points on the bench, which could have changed his game week. But just above him, I obviously stuck to my guns on my team. I did bring a Stupinian in for my transfer, which was obviously a solid move, as Reedy was saying. White with the 7 points, Salah with the 21. Rashford and Saka obviously disappointing, but Mitoma, unreal stuff from him. He's been great since I brought him in. A couple of quiet weeks in 24, 23, but previous to that, everyone's seen what a nuisance he's been in the Premier League. Unbelievable player and really impressive. But obviously the pick who's been doing well for me in the last couple of weeks, Manor Solomon, scored some cracking goals. Loving what he's doing for Fulham. Obviously, he's a bit of an unknown quantity from in the league, and he's been class. 5 goals, as we were saying already, 4 in the last Premier League games. Got 4 in 4, and the fixtures. Even though Arsenal are up next, blank in 28, I still might keep all of him going ahead into Bournemouth, West Ham, Everton, Leeds. A lot of fixtures there where you think, still a bit tasty and not very cheap. He's looking good, man. 0.2% ownership and 4.9 mil. So is that Miggy downgrade if you've still kind of got a player like that in your team?
And we talk about drunken mistakes, Jack.
oh yeah, it was on it.
More common drunken mistakes. That's the phrase, isn't it? But this one was actually a drunken. What can you say? I mean, great decision. Yeah. I don't really know the word to kind of call it,
drunken fortune.
Yeah, drunken fortune.
Yeah,
that's actually a great way to phrase it.
It's a bit like Quinton Fortune, but a drunken fortune. So I think, for those who don't remember Quinton Fortune, Chaz, ex-Man United South African player, left winger, utility player. I think, Solomon, I'm pretty sure I was about 8 or 9 deep at the time when I made the decision, but it was deadline. I had a big event on at work, and I was like, bloody hell, FPL team, obviously priority before deadline. Quickly put a filter on the stats, who's been on form. Solomon, top of the list. I think he scored 2 at the time, 2 and 2. So I was like, let's go. So it worked out a treat. Don't remember making the move, but reap the rewards the next day. So happy days. I
love your laugh so much.
Oh, flying, mate. Absolutely flying. And top of the league, the man who isn't on this evening, was 74 points. Well played, Ollie Walker-Peel. He's now climbed into top 500k. So great work from him. 74 points. A couple of, obviously, he's got his Arsenal players in there. He's got his Liverpool players. And he's got Andreas. He's started.
And Darwin.
And
Kilman.
He did really well. Really well.
He did do really well. Imagine if he played Ward in goal as well.
He played his wild card in 25, was it, Chazza?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
I think it was 25, yeah. He's played all his chips pretty much as well now, so...
He has, and I think the worry for Ollie now is he's got a great score this week, but I think he might be struggling for 27 and 28. I could be wrong on that one, but as far as I'm aware, he's got no Brighton or Brentford.
Let me just have a quick look. I'll bring it back
he's
up.
Got no Brighton or Brentford, and he's basically got 28. He's got blankers. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 blankers and 28 anyway.
Yeah, okay. So he's probably got a transfer saved up then, hasn't he? So he'll have 2 free transfers for this week, and he can take a hit -4. That's 3 might cover him just enough there. So he might be able to make a few moves to save his game week. But really strong one from Ollie. But then we're going to go on to our guest now. Obviously, Peterson's joined us from FPL SideNet. We're going to check out how he's gone in the game week and maybe just chat about the season so far for him. I'm pretty sure he's doing quite well, and he's looking quite good this week. So, Peterson, take it away, mate. Take us through your team.
Yeah, so 53 points. I stupidly took Mo Salah out this game week for a hit as well, I must add. So I had an Nketiah problem in my side. So I took him out. I wanted Ivan Toney. And then I upgraded. Well, I thought I was upgrading Mo Salah to Saka because I really wanted to captain Saka for that Bournemouth game. But anyway, I think heading down the track, I should be in okay shape. But yeah, any green arrow when the guy you take out scores 21 points is fairly decent. But yeah, a little bit fortunate. Both White and Matoma, I think they scored their goal sort of within about a minute of each other. So when the alerts were coming through while I was watching all the games, I was pretty ecstatic at that side. Yeah. I thought I was hallucinating at one point, but like Chaz has said, I did bet on Ivan Toney to go get the points this game week, and I think he got robbed of another bonus point just because Fulham got that goal right at the end. So every point would have helped. But yeah, moving forward, a few benching headaches. I do plan to use my free hit in 28, so I don't need to worry about that at all. And I'm not going to be wildcarding until probably well after the international break, around like game week 33, I think. So that's how I'm sitting at the moment. But yeah, sitting at 76k. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Mate. Yeah, flying. Have you? Is this like based on previous years? Is this your kind of best form so far at this stage? Or
it's probably on par for the last few seasons. So I sort of aim to be within 100k by game week 30. So usually you just need one really good game week and you can tend to fly up. And I did get that a few weeks ago. I got a massive score and that helped. That moved me up heaps. But yeah, I did work out with those Salah points, and without the hit, I'd probably be sitting about 30k. But anyway, we move.
Yeah. We move, as we say. But you've obviously had some incredible seasons in your time as an FPL manager. Obviously, you've been going for it's your 16th year?
Yeah, I think it's my 16th year. So
2006, 2007 season.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, long time.
It's obviously one of your best finishes. 7,000 in 2008, 2009. That must have been obviously Ronaldo, Rooney era, like
glory days, Barclays glory days.
So yeah, not bad in there. And then, but obviously during, I think obviously it was that COVID season, 9,000. Yeah. You finished in there, which incredible finishes, top 10k, 2 of them. So yeah, I'm sure you're looking to head that way as well this season.
Yeah, if I can. I think last year I finished, 26k. So if I can max that or do better, I'd be stoked with that. Just, it's so hard these days. Like there's so many managers out there playing the game. It's not like back in that first season I played, there was probably only like, what did I finish? 7,000. There's probably only 8,000 people playing back then anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
No. But I'll take it. But yeah, these days, there's like, what is it? 11 million people playing. So
yeah, 11. Yeah, incredible.
I think finishing anywhere in 100,000 is just a massive achievement, and you can just see from the amount of engaged managers there are these days how hard it is. And yeah, when it's really hard to get big gains in the game, but it's really easy to get massive big arrows. And yeah, I've been on my fair share of both.
No, I was going to say like the top 1k, what the target of few people maybe used to have been, but it's like the top 10k, but he's still putting that top 100k. You want to be in that mix, don't you? Because there's just so many managers playing the game now, especially since COVID. So having those aspirations in there, and then going in terms of your obviously your mini leagues, you've got a few different mini leagues going on. You're top of a couple in there. Have you got any prize leagues that you've got your eyes on that you're trying to win this league this year?
There's one league I've been in for years, and it's called Global. It's with a whole bunch of guys I used to play ESPN fantasy with, and I've never ever won it. I've come second about 7 times, and yeah, that's the one I really want to win. And I don't even really know anyone in there, but I just want to win it just for the sake of it, because I missed a few seasons ago. I finished second by I think 2 points. That last season I finished in that COVID season where I finished 9k. I stuffed up that last game week. I absolutely fluffed it, and missed out by 2 points. I was more angry about that than anything else.
Obviously, you spoke about when you're looking to play your wild card. So game week 33. 33. You say for your wild card. Yeah. Is that something you tend to do every season? You play it quite late then for the last 5 games? Or?
I don't really have a set strategy that I stick to every season, because every season's so different, especially the last 2 years have just been absolutely insane. Like last season was where the server's going to hold out, where the game's going to go ahead. Usually we didn't know these things until 15 minutes beforehand. So as far as a long-term strategy went, it was quite difficult. But yeah, this season, I'm thinking if everything stays the course, I'm in a fairly good shape at the moment. And yeah, save that free hit for the big blank coming up in 28 and sort of dead end into that other blank in 32, and then just bring all those players back that I want in 33 and target those last few doubles.
Yeah, well, and who you thinking? Who your picks that you're looking for this wild card? Who do you kind of strategized around to who you think is going to hit the heights? You going to stick with the Rashfords and the Sakas, or?
Yeah, I think the good players that are good at the moment will keep being good, because I mean we saw even this morning Rashford in the Europa League, he's the dude's on fire at the moment. Yeah. I can't see him leaving anyone's side, but we tend to see towards the end of the season, like teams in relegation scraps, one of them will go on a run. And, if I can utilize that at the time and get in one or two of those players, it could help. They might be low owned as well. So that could always help as well.
Yeah, nice. And I just want to chat about Chelsea. Obviously, it's been a bit of a crazy season. Pretty standard in respect of Chelsea, because you're always buying and firing and selling.
Yeah.
But obviously, two back-to-back wins now, one Premier League, one in Champions League. Been a bit hectic with Potter coming in, and it looked like he was talks about getting sacked and stuff. But what's your feeling about Chelsea going in for the rest of the season then? And then let's talk about some maybe FPL assets within Chelsea that you think we should be looking at, if any.
Okay, well, judging from what we saw the last two games, especially the Dortmund game, it felt like it was a massive release of pressure from everyone. I even saw Graham Potter crack a smile. He was on the pitch at the end of the game, giving it, with the fans, and all the players were just well over the top. And hopefully it can be the start of something, because the fixtures have been there for Chelsea. Like, their fixture run's been fairly good. They just haven't been able to, put the ball in the net, let alone get any points on the board. So hopefully with this and sort of the burden off their back, if they can go on a decent run, and they've got the double in 29 as well, they play in 28, they may be players that we start to look to further down. But yeah, I think maybe Graham Potter's probably bought himself a bit more time. I think he may see out the season now.
Yeah, right. Chaz, go on.
I was just going to say, if you ever wanted to watch something worth just saves you a lot of time, you can always watch Chelsea's February goal of the month nomination.
It was a great goal from João Felix. I must admit that.
Yeah, it was.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Felix or Felix?
Felix, yeah.
Felix, isn't it?
Felix?
Yeah, right. So obviously a couple of picks in there. And one more before we jump into the remainder, where we can check out about our leagues and how many leagues are doing. FPL SideNet podcast. Mm-hmm. Give us a quick spiel about it. So, and where can everyone find your content?
Yep. So, this is the third season for the podcast now. So I've been joined by Andrew this season at FPL_Point Break. Give him a follow on Twitter, because he's great value. And it's literally just two guys who love talking about a game within a game. So, we touch on all the topics of the week. We have a fair bit of fun, and we try and wedge in as many movie TV references as we can into an hour's worth of content. But we do try and cover up all the general things, like who to target, fixtures, and reviews and stuff. But we're very like you guys, we're very lighthearted. We just do it for fun and for a bit of banter.
Perfect. No, cheers for that. So make sure you check out the FPL SideNet podcast along with his sidekick Andrew in there. They're obviously great pod, great insight, good banter, and obviously a lot of movie taglines in there as well. And obviously we'll you've joined us on 3 FPL socials as well. Always a pleasure having you on there and contributing as well on the couch as well as in the trivia. You had a good time on the last one just a couple of weeks ago. You had a great time in there.
Yeah, look, the FPL socials are great. So the fact that yourself and the others have all got together to put it, organize. I'm not that organized myself. So the fact that you guys do it, I love it. And that traveling up for the Sydney one was very special as well, because we got to see Melbourne Victory win in Sydney. The first time I've seen Victory win interstate. And Chaz and I, this is a great story. Chaz and I, we went to go get something to eat. just before the first victory goal, and we were sort of right behind. We were about to head into the canteen, and I said to Chaz, let's just wait. We've got a corner here, and we went with the victory fans in the away end, and they scored from the header, and we just jumped in there. We got absolutely mental with everyone, and
absolutely erupted in the away bay in the freezing cold rain. It was chucking it down on it.
Every time I go to Sydney for football, it absolutely buckets down. But that was like Noah's Ark levels. That type of rain.
Yeah. Well, at least you got to see Nanny play half decent game as well. So that was good. But yeah, awesome work. All right, let's move on. Cheers for that, Peterson. Obviously, you're on for the rest of the podcast, so we'll be touching base and getting plenty of your insight all the way. But in our members league, so manager of the week, Steve Ward again. 79 points, Steve Sound. So well done. Congratulations, Steve. Class work from you, mate. In that competition, in that mini league, Martin Watchcorn from the Wolfpack still remains top with 1,686 points. He's flying. So shout out to you, fella. In the public league, top of this league. Wow, these points are crazy. Michal Vitor, 1,745 points. But then just in the women's league, Mira, 1,718 points. She's flying.
Another shout out. It's another shout out. Again.
Yeah.
Again. Weekly installment. Mira, if you're still around, this is your time.
Congratulations, Mira. You're still top of that league. You're smashing it. Don't think anyone's knocked her off that top place all season. So I've no doubt. Oh, she is on there. We're getting a bit of love there. So well done, Mira, and thank you for joining the pod this evening. And hopefully we can see you in Sydney for the FPL Social in October. Be a pleasure to have you there again with us. And then in our head-to-head members league, 16 managers in there. We've got an FPL Addicts team in there, which I actually manage as well, which is doing a lot better than my team itself. And we're doing okay. I think we're fourth at the minute. But Donald Breslin is FPL Dodie. He's on 53 points in there. He's dominating, just ahead of Josh Carney and Nathan Burgess, I think it is. So, yeah, flying in there. So, well done to everyone with the shout-outs there. Just over to our sponsor, Bonus Bank. They have created an FPL tool this season for us to use, just to help with pick those clean sheets and top goal scorers. You can find that in the link tree below on our website. So, the top three teams based on probabilities and percentages to keep a clean sheet this week. In third place, Tottenham, 47% chance of keeping a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest. Bit of a dodgy on that. I think the Conte could be on his way out, but that might be a good thing for Spurs. What do you reckon, Peterson? I'm sure you'll be happy if he goes.
I'm hoping he stays. The longer he stays, the better.
That's very true. Yeah, very true. The inconsistency. It was actually better when his assistant took the team, right?
That's right.
Second place, Man United versus Southampton. God, we need a clean sheet. 47% chance. That would be nice. Southampton are a bit of a manager bounce, so a bit of a dodgy one, but they are the second best team based on probabilities to keep a clean sheet this week. And then in first place, Crystal Palace versus Man City. Of course, Manchester City, 49% chance of keeping a clean sheet. So if that helps with your picks and your management decisions this week, they're the percentages to look out for based on probabilities. And then goal scorers. In third place at Man United versus Southampton, Rashford is on a 46% chance. Harry Kane in second on 49% chance. I think he's gone 3 games without scoring now. I think in the last 3 games, he's not scored for 3 games, unlike Harry. But in first place, Erling Haaland, 54% chance of scoring. Of course, he's always up there. But like I said, you can jump onto that free tool on the so it's bonusbank.com.au/fantasy-/football, but you can access that from our link tree. So big thanks to our sponsors there. A bit of chat going on in the comments. Mira just saying how good it was to meet everyone in the at the social last year in October. Obviously, Reedy would have been there if he could, and FPL Planner, who was there, obviously massive Man United fan as well. What an amazing day it was. So yeah, really keen to get the team back together for October if possible in Sydney. But on to next discussion points for this week preview. I'm sure everyone's got something to say, but it is a double game week for a number of teams. Like I just saw in my team, I've got Crystal Palace. We've got obviously the Brighton fixtures, the Brentford fixtures. Choices to make. Chaz, I know you mentioned this before as well about the double game weekers. are you thinking there? What assets should we be looking at? How do we approach it?
How do we approach it? Good question. I think 3 to 4 would be suitable. I do see there being points in Brighton because they're a very attacking side. With Brighton's 44 goals scored so far this season, it's a 5th highest in the league, and we know their manager plays an attacking brand of football, and it's been evident in the games in the past. In addition, Brentford as well, I think they're very attacking, but in addition, very good defensive side this season. Wouldn't mind a Brentford defender. I think just one of them would be worth targeting. Matoma or McAllister looks a really good pick. Now, it may not have been March's week, but tough times don't last. The tough people do. This could be his week this coming weekend. Just saying. And then, of course, you got your 4-leg multi-man in Ivan Toney. So I'd say 3 to 4, but we need to get to one player. Now, this shocked the Twitter sphere. This shocked the minds of many fantasy managers. That is the absence of Robert Sanchez, with Steele starting in between the sticks for Brighton. Now, to you three, what's your take? Because this could be another unnecessary conundrum as we head into this yet another double game week for Brighton.
Reedy?
Oh, there's a big spiel there from Chaz. So,
do you want to repeat the question? Because I know you probably wasn't listening.
No. I know it's about the double game weekers, don't worry. But Chaz was just, he's like an author, you know what I mean? It just reels off his head. But now, in terms of this week, double game weekers, me personally, I've got 6. So, I'm going all in or nothing. McAllister, Estupiñán, Matoma. March might be injured, or could be injured, however you want to put it. He might have a knock. So March owners might get a bit unlucky with that one. Obviously, if you're going to wildcard, you could avoid him anyway. Wildcard is for 27. But yeah, I think if you're not wildcarding, I think 4 is probably enough. I think so. I don't think you need to be going taking -8s and whatnot, unless you really want to try and. I mean, I think I will always say this: if you're going to take it, do it in a double game week. It's more justified than it would be a single game week. But yeah, the doublers, I think, pick themselves, really. Tony, me and Raya, people wildcarded in 26 like myself, went for Pinnock or Henry. Yeah, so that's all I'd probably say about it. It's a double. It's Brightford, as I like to call it, because that's the combo at the minute. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. McAllister, didn't pick him last week. I went for Barnes. So rather than roll me transfer this week, Daddy, Mac 10, Mac Daddy, whatever you want to call him, he's in, boys. He's in.
He's in. And Peterson, how about you? What are your thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, very unlucky if you were on the wildcard last week and did go Bobby Sanchez, because I think on paper it was a decent move there. But yeah, I think a lot of us are going to be loading up on Brentford and Brighton this game. Again, it does make sense. And I think if you got to the point where you're taking hits to get the players in, I'd lean towards the Brighton players, because that double in 29 as well is much better than Brentford. So Brentford's double in 29 is against Brighton and against Man United away, which is going to be tough. Whereas Brighton's in game week 29 is Brentford at home and Bournemouth away. So if you're trying to weigh up to get in that one extra player, I'd lean towards the Brighton ones, because long-term it's probably a much better hold. And they've got a few more doubles up their sleeve too. So, yeah, you're taking the hit now, but that hit's going to pay off, over multiple game weeks down the track.
Is it an issue because obviously Brighton have got that game week 28, and they obviously next week they've got a blank, right?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Depending on your strategy.
Up there, hopefully you've got a decent squad to be going in with. But the advantage is there's quite a lot of cheaper players, isn't there? I guess you can play with those Brighton assets. Brentford assets are a lot cheaper, so you should be able to have a bit more of a better squad, I suppose, if you've invested in both them clubs, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're so lucky. I mean, any asset from these two teams, I think the most expensive one is probably Ivan Toney, which is fairly easy to get.
And I think, just to jump in, there's two things really that kind of make it either difficult or make it easier, whichever way you look at it. Now, that's Sanchez. Obviously, people who wildcarded in 26, who went with Sanchez and Raya. There was your goalkeeper spot for 28. You could have gone for 3 Brighton.
True. Yeah.
Two players and your goalkeeper on the bench with the United, say it was Rashford, for example. But then now, coming into 27, obviously looks like Steele is the man between the sticks. I think FPL planners said there in the comments about him losing his spot. And that makes it trickier because if you do go for a third outfield Brighton player, it means playing with 10. And this is what I mean about it being a bit tricky. If you're happy to go with 10, I'm going with 10. That was always my plan. If I wildcarded in 26 and picked the Leicester guy and he didn't come through, I'd use the transfer. So I'd play with 10 in 28. And if obviously the Leicester guy did well, I'd leave it and have 11 and 28. So if you don't mind going for 10, 28, go for that third Brighton asset. And as you said there, Peterson, further down the line, they've got doubles, potential double with Newcastle in 30 or 31. Can't remember which one. And throughout the season in 34 and 37, they might have doubles as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm just going to bring up just on the Brighton asset one. Obviously, a couple of us brought Stupinan in last couple of weeks. He's playing 2 friendly games for Ecuador in Australia between 28 and 29, which I wasn't really aware of there. But do we think he might play the first friendly and Imagine lets him return? Listen, if he's going travelling out, he's probably going to be, managed accordingly in both games. I'm probably expecting to play both games in there. But Chaz, have you got a bit of insight in there?
I don't. I was just going to ask a man who loves rocking the Socceroos kit.
Brilliant.
Now, Peterson, are you going to the friendly at Marvel Stadium? Because if so, I will see you there.
I will definitely be going. I think there's an option where we could get the tickets that also include the Matildas game against France.
Okay. So double header, yeah, nice. Yeah, probably a bit better quality than the Matildas team as well.
Wait, hang on. You're saying a double header, but one game is in March and the other's in mid-July. That's the longest duration of double header.
Biggest double header.
It's a long time to grab a drink in between the games.
That'd be decent. A little meet up, perhaps, to go and watch the game. Maybe we should get the FPL community together.
Absolutely, sounds great.
That's a good shout. We could always organise plans live on the podcast. I like that.
Absolutely. Please get in the comments if you're up for that. Here we go. Go on and read it.
Yeah, just a question from Chris there. In regards to his bus team, he wants the bench boost this week. He's saying, and wait. He wants the bench boost this week and wait for 29 to see who may be rotated or injured. So basically, what he's saying there is, as I'm sure you all know, we've got an international break coming up. He was discussing internationals and things like that there. And pretty much between, I think it was wildcard 26 and then the doubles in 29, there'd be a month. So I think he's basically saying get his bench boost out of the way so he has as much information as possible for 29 after the international. What do you think? He might free hit in 29. Would you boys say it's a good shout, or would you say it's not really a best way to play the chips bench boost this week? Free hit in 29. Would you say free hit's more optimal for the 32 game week 32? I'll put that to you, Peterson, because I know you've got the highest rank, mate. Let's put it like that. What would you suggest is best for Chris?
Well, I mean, without seeing Chris's side, many of us are heading into this game week with massive benching headaches. So I did the shopping the other day. I stocked up on some more Panadol because I'm going to be having so many benching headaches this weekend. And honestly, the bench boost this week looks fantastic. If you're not carrying Bobby Sanchez on your bench and you can, carry out a full bench for the bench boost, I would do it because there's going to be so many really good single game week players that are going to haul that we're all going to have on our bench. And if you have the opportunity and you want to do it, I'm not against that at all.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Perfect shout. I mean, I've got triple Newcastle. And, based on
me, tempting.
Yeah, me and the Stupinan have got doubles, so they kind of beat Burn, and then Raya, same double, beats Pope. But then if Newcastle keep the clean, Pope and Burn are going to be sat there with 6 points, potentially more, if they get bonus. So it is a tricky situation. It does look nice if you've got any Arsenal guys who are sat on your bench. It is really, really tempting. The thing for me is that's swaying me not to bench boost this week is that they're playing Fulham away. And I think given that Bournemouth gave Arsenal a game at the Emirates, I think Fulham's form at home has been good this season. So I would imagine it'd be a tricky game for Arsenal. So that's why I'm staying away from it. The Newcastle, I just have to accept the pain, Peterson. I have to take it on the chin.
No, I think I definitely won't be bench boosting. I've only got Solomon. I've got Mikalenko and Nico Williams on my bench, so I'll be leaving that one. But I think just on the note about the free hit on game week 29, obviously following the FIFA break. Was it 11 doubles? I think I counted 11 teams a double game week in. So if you get a free hit, I mean, they don't get offered many of these, do we, in a game week? So it's probably a good opportunity to free hit then. I think Peterson, you said you're free hitting that week, right? 29. You said
no, 29. I'll probably be bench boosting.
Bench boosting 29. Okay, yeah. So those who maybe wildcard a bit early, then if they wildcard in 28 or now or 29, you could actually look ahead and try and plan for that bench boost as well on that double game week. Then if you wildcard around then, so maybe something to be aware of. Yeah.
So Chris,
Chris is up there again.
Yeah, 7 doublers, which it must mean I'm guessing he's got JWP or a Palace player, maybe even on top of the Brentford and the Brighton, and then Kepa against Leicester, Gabriel against Fulham away, and Botman against Wolves at home. So it's not a bad idea, but just think for me, the 2 fixtures for Ward-Prowse away to West Ham. No, I'm looking at the wrong game week. That's 29. But away to United and at home to Brentford. Would you say it's worthy of the bench boost, considering with his bench players as well? Do we think Leicester score against Chelsea, Peterson?
I hope not. But yeah, we've seen
Probably.
Leicester. We've seen Leicester be fairly free flowing this season, but even though they couldn't put the ball in the net against Southampton the other day.
Yeah, such a weird team, aren't they? You just don't know what to expect, right?
I think if Barnes is injured as well, it does lose a bit of attacking threat for them. Obviously, Maddison's back, but for me, if I was to say, bench boost is a no-go. I think with those players, I think Arsenal could concede. I think really you could live with if Botman gets you clean sheet, and then the others could quite easily not do so well. So yeah, it's a no bench boost for me personally, Chris. But look who's in the house, boys. Quentin Dunn. Mr. Quentin Dunn himself.
I'll bring that next one up. Let's look at this one. This is what he loves. I think whenever Q crashes the podcast, it's been a lot this season, and he's smashing the Rashford one. And do you know something? I absolutely love the energy because it is helping a lot. Chaz, just jump in, mate.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to jump, but as always, I like to politely put my hand up. Speaking of this, Quentin, you've come at the clutch timing of all times. This is a good hint towards captaincy corner, this question. It is, because we have double game week plays, but also Rashford gets a mention at the end of it.
Oh, so do you want to go into captain's corner?
It doesn't have to be now. We can wait until the preview.
Yeah,
hey, listen.
He created a segue into it, but then
created a segue and then bottled it.
Leave it, boys. No thanks.
Just a little tease.
Little teaser. Well, I'm very excited for the teaser. I think Q, thoughts on Rashford for this week for Southampton. Listen, I like it. I am going to wait for Captain's Corner to see if that gets me over the line. But you're over a double game week a player. I think it's tough to look past the likes of your Tonys, your Matomas. So yeah, interesting. But is I love this one next comment. I'm on something when Chaz gets out of his seat. And this is the planner with the suspense. It is all frothing. Everyone is ready. But if we just move on slightly on here now. So if you've not downloaded it already, please get onto the EPL Live app. We use it for all our live scores, latest news, and we have partnered with them this year. We are hopefully kicking back with some more articles very shortly. A couple of the boys have been busy with that. Chazza in particular. Hopefully he'll be posting some of his captain picks. Reedy, I feel like you're a new producer on this one, mate. You're flying tonight. You're taking you 3 years to do this. But it does give you player stats. It does give you some really key information. If you've not watched the games live and you want to look at some stats, it's got some really good player stats on there. You click on the live game, click on the team, click on your players that you want to look at and see how they're performing with take-ons, passes, accuracy, and you can obviously take a view from there. But you can join it from the caption below. Join the EPL team there. Great bunch of lads who run it in the back end as well. So well done to them. So with sports, mate. So yeah, keep up the great work. EPL.
That's good. No, that's solid. I like that one.
Oh, Gary, please don't. But let's have a look for transfers for this game week. I'll go first. So just while I'm on it here, I've got it on here.
Go on, then.
Go ahead, lad. Go on, son. So my team for this week, I'm on Ollie's there. So pick team. Looking all right. A couple of double game weekers. I've got 4, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. I'm pretty happy. I like the single game weekers. There's a lot of good fixtures. Arsenal Fulham away. I know it's not easy, but you know, if they're on good form, you do fancy it. Salah at Bournemouth. Got to fancy him now after what he's just done in the last couple of game weeks. Saka there as well. Rashford, obviously a hot topic. Mitoma flying. I've got the band on him at the minute for captains. We'll give away there. But my front three of Haaland, Kane and Tony, pretty formidable attack. You know, if penalties are on, then we're flying up there, aren't we? With Kane and Tony on pens. Solomon obviously dropped to the bench, unfortunately, at the moment, pending any injury news from anyone else. But yeah, really excited about this team, to be fair. Obviously not wild carded or anything yet, but yeah, pretty happy. Fixtures look good. And yeah, so my only transfer this week was Tony for Nketiah. Elsewhere, who wants to go next?
Go on, Chaz.
Why not? Let's dive into my team. Here we go. So we've got Norwegian the second as our part of our front seven. Jeez, I'm dropping things left, right, and centre. We've got the Spice Man. We've got the current month of the year. We've got the book, You Are a Champion. That's what it's all about. We've got the supposed Nordic Meat Shield. Ladbrokes up front, along with Has Kane, who's been consistent ever so much within the last few seasons. And look, I don't really know what I'm doing with my bench. I've still got some work to do on that. And I don't mind a bit of a symmetrics of a colour where you have the red and the white, then you have a lot of red, bit of white, and then the black and white. I just love that colour symmetrical transition down back. And Sanchez, look, he's in the firing line already. I'm calling it. He's on the firing line.
Nice, mate.
That's my innovation.
No, fair enough, mate. Have you made any moves or not?
No, I reckon we'll camera roll this team for another week, which means roll the free transfer.
All right, brother. Read it. You're up, son.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just
wild card last week. How many hits have you taken this week?
Serious question? No. Yeah. For me, I've taken the one transfer, so I've used the one I've got, the 1 free, and I'm just going in there with a quite nice team with a painful looking bench, but it is what it is. We accept it, we take it, and we move. So, yeah, 6 doublers. I'm going for captain's armband at the moment. I'll go in early with that and say Tony, but I do feel like playing vibes, a bit of vibes FC, and go for Mitoma. You know, the clean sheet potential, stuff like that. Tony, obviously it's penalties for him. He loves a penalty, and if he doesn't get one, will he score from open play? I don't know. Playing a stubborn Everton as well at Goodison Park. So it's a bit tricky on that one. I do like Brighton's fixtures. But yeah, Rashford at home. No Liverpool players is obviously jumping out there, really. I've got none against Bournemouth, which is potentially going to be another painful one because in the reverse fixture, we won 9-0. But yeah, I'm set up nicely, boys. Do you think,
good, mate?
Think there's anything? I mean, as I say, Liverpool players is the standout, but they blank in 28, so I'm not obviously gonna take a hit to bring them in. I'm just gonna hopefully we only win 2-0 and it's a Cody Gakpo and Harvey Elliott goal. That'd be nice. I don't see it, but that'd be nice. But yeah, I'm going into 27, feeling quite confident I can make up some points from 26. Really.
Yeah. No, looking good, mate. I think that's obviously why you played the wild card to set yourself up for this week in particular, going ahead. So yeah, looking good, man. Looking good. Captain pick, obviously, you want to think about, I guess, but that's where Chaz will come in very shortly. But Peterson.
Yep.
What's happened to your jerseys? They look sick on your screen.
Oh, this is FPL Team Planner. So it's a really good website I use for sort of planning out my transfers and strategies all the way through. You get all the fixtures and everything. It's a really good website. So go check it out. But yeah, nice plug there. Feel free to throw me some coin there, whoever's behind the FPL team there.
I feel like you've designed these shirts, though.
I wish.
This is very you. Very you.
But this is how I'm probably going to line up for Game Week 27. So my 2 transfers would be Estupinan in for Bueno, so he'll go. He's just been sitting on my bench recently. And the other one would be McAllister for Andreas Pereira. So really target those doubles. So
nice.
I'm not 100% sure on Tony for the captaincy for this game week, but I have a feeling he's going to be the most captain player this game week with those doubles. And I've got the triple Brighton. So my thinking is double up, the Tony captaincy, double up there. So at least I can sort of try and make some gains that way. But yeah, like I said, benching headaches because I've got Erdegaard, Trippier, and White on the bench, which is just torture. So I can't see myself taking another hit to get another Brentford player because I'd have to get rid of either one of Trippier, Shaw, or Alexander-Arnold this game week. So I don't see the point.
I just want to check with you as well, Peterson, because, of course, looking ahead to 28, are you free hitting or not?
Yeah, I'm free hitting 28, so I'm pretty excited.
All good. He's set. I was going to say because, looking at the team, you're looking at six players who aren't playing in 28. So that'll be with you using both transfers. Obviously, it'd be a bit of a tricky one, but yeah, free hit makes sense. But yeah, nice team, isn't it, boys? To be fair, he's got Trent in there, could clean and potentially haul, and two United against Southampton. So it's
it's looking good. I think to mention as well. So the top 4 players transferred in this week. 4th place, Ben Mee, 220,000. Oh, McAllister in 5th as well. So, and then it was McAllister, Mee, Estupinan, nearly 300,000. Tony, 475,000. And then Matoma, most transferred in player, 512. So, obviously, everyone's jumping on those ownership levels. Are going to go extremely high now. Matoma's 19.5% selected. Tony's 35% chance. Ownership, and the Estupinan's got up to 10%. So I think when I brought him in, he was like 2%, 1%. So yeah, some tough. Following the points, following the template. Obviously, you've done the triple up in there with Brighton. And I think it's a lot where people are going this week, aren't they? So it's hard to find those differentials, but it's just about that captaincy pick now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just having that coverage and hopefully nailing that captaincy pick. So yeah, this side. Going in, taking the hit for the extra Brighton player this week will then set me up all right for 29 as well when they all come back into my side anyway. Yeah.
Ozspike has joined us just in the comments. No, Solly. As Shakespeare once said, beware of the Ides of March. I bet Chaz, I love that one. That was just for you, I think, Chazza.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, if a puns have ever taken, you got to take them with both hands. So I just made it up to sense, to be fair. That wasn't by Shakespeare.
Certainly happened. Obviously, Ozspike joined us from, I think he's in Perth, and our token Brighton fan with all the latest news. So unfortunately, he can't pick all 4 players for his team, but I'm sure he's tripled up this game week. But yeah, so we've done for our transfers, done our captains. I guess there's only one thing where it's time for now.
Captains. Someone said a second segue, did they? All right.
We're ready.
It sounds like you're ready. So I've got the information version, and at the end of it, not the end of this segment, just whenever Jack signals it, I've got a lovely song that I made up earlier about the captains heading to the weekend, but not just that, but also the scout services and how shambolic they are for the FPL in general. But let's go to the Game Week 27 captains, and we're starting off with Ivan Toney, who is in the affair of scandals in recent times, but he's got 2 away fixtures coming up with Everton and Southampton headlining his double game week. Tony's had 15 goals and 3 assists so far this season with an XG of 16.5, which is ranked 2nd amongst all forwards. He averages 6 points per match away from home, but not just that, he has a 73% goal involvement in his away games so far this season. More importantly as well, he avoided a yellow card getting received against Fulham on Monday night, which means there's no chance of him getting 10 yellows, meaning he is avoiding suspension, let alone missing a match from his suspension during the double game week. The second phrase is probably put better. Let's go to Matoma vibes. He's got Leeds away, Palace at home, Brighton and Palace. Oh, huge rivals. 6 goals and 4 assists in his last 11 league starts, which nearly equates to a return every game. Both of his opponents coming up sit in the bottom 7 in the competition for expected goals conceded. And if you love your lovely letters, abbreviations, it's GC. This is turning into Morse codes faster than I thought. He's got 3 double-digit hauls in his last 5. And more importantly, he is the most transferred in player heading into the game week with 500,000 new owners. Alex McAllister is the next one. He finished on a 14-point haul last game week against West Ham at home, which included a goal, an assist, coming away with maximum bonus points. In addition, he created the equal most chances of any player on the ground in that game, plus achieved the highest XG on the field as opposed to any player with 1.12. 4% owned as I typed this, but I think he's 5% now. Serious major differential if you want to climb up your mini leagues. The World Cup winner averages 5.2 points per home game on average, 3.2 points per match in his away matches. The last one, Quentin, lovely teaser. He's come from Sydney, but he loves his teasers. Marcus Rashford at home to Southampton. Let's speak about Marcus' track record in recent times. It is seriously phenomenal. He's blanked twice since game week 16. Last time he blanked at home was in game week 12, which was their 2-0 win over Tottenham Hotspur. Since that time, he's had 7 home games, 8 goals, 2 assists. He's also scored the second most points of any player in the last 6 game weeks with 52. Who's got more than him? Well, funny you ask that. He's been a champion in recent seasons. Mohamed Salah with 54. 21 of them majorly contributed from last Sunday's affair at Anfield. Plus, adding on, Marcus Rashford has returned at home against Southampton in each of the last 3 seasons. That's all for the descriptive part of Captaincy Corner.
Brilliant stuff, Chaz. Awesome work. Let's just move you off that top screen. Captain's Corner, yet again, delivering the goods. Obviously, the research that goes into that is phenomenal. You pulling out stats left, right, and centre, picking the big picks. Are you backing yourself, Chazza? Are you backing this week for yourself, for your own team?
I'm backing this week. Right now it's on Tony, but I'm seriously tempted by Marcus Rashford. Just even thinking about it more and more. The urge is there to be different because we've seen the story in recent double game weeks. Single game week players can outscore popular double game week picks.
100%. That is very true. We've all been burnt by that in the past, and we all try and follow this one. But there are some great picks in there, mate. So well done. Thank you for that, and thank you for your efforts. Excited for the song that you're going to leave us with before we go. Are you nervous? Are you feeling all right about it?
Well, I don't get nervous, but as Tom Skinner would say, I'm starting to get a little bit shaky. Do you know what I
mean? So before we wrap up, please jump in the link tree to find out more about how you can get involved. You can still join the leagues. They're all still open to do to get around. A big thanks to our sponsor, Bonus Bank. Second season with us. Thank you for supporting us and our community. Australia's and New Zealand's fastest growing side hustle. Check out the details in the caption below and the link tree. And you can see how to take advantage of Bookies promotions. It does work off bonuses, bonus bets. It's free to set up, and you can receive 25% off your first premium month with our discount code FPL Addicts. And yeah, like I said, all the details in that caption below. Thank you so much for joining in today. I hope you loved today's podcast. Please do. There is a link on there which is incorrect, which really is just put up. That's why he's not in charge of production. But if you do want to join, please give us a like on this podcast. It will help. So hit the thumbs up button. Karen, jump in the comments and we'll get back to them and reply. And also hit that subscribe button too. That would be sensational. That does bring us to the end of the preview show for Game Week 27. A big thank you to SideNet for joining us. What a debut you've had, son. Thank you so much for being on. Added some great insights and nonsense as well, which has been great. But also great hearing about your journey as a veteran. I think you started when Chaz was born. So you are flying in there. Keep an eye out on the socials for more info, and we'll let you know how shit Reedy's doing this week as we go into the game week. Thank you, everyone. Any final words, Reedy? I know you want to say something.
Thank you, King.
Love it. But King Solomon is back this week. He's taking over Salah now. So there's the Bird King. I love it on there. So good. All right, guys. Listen, all the best for the game week. And we'll see you next time on the FPL Addicts podcast.
Cheers.
Sarah.